coming to the TUM Business Showcase. We really appreciate your presence here today. We hope that this event is beneficial to you, and especially to our vendors. If you didn't have a chance to take a look at our vendors around the perimeter of the room, we would invite you to do so after the panel.
My key role at Jesus House now, and even in the Redeemed Church, is governmental relations and community partnership. That's what I do, that's what I'm anointed to do, and I do best. And I thank God for that privilege. And I just want to give you a few buzzwords as to what's going on out there now. The buzzword out there now in the county, at the state level, even at the federal level, is collaboration and partnerships. And I know one of the things you may say, especially in the immigrant community, is, how do I do this? The first thing is you must have a legal entity, because I know that a lot of us trade without a legal entity in place. If it's a 501c3, that's non-profit, get it in place. If you need help, you can talk to the organizers. They will put you in touch with me. I can help you with that. Or if it's a proper legal entity, there are entities that are put in place that can do that for you. You must have a container. That's how the Bible calls it. Go borrow vessels. So you must have a vessel. Once you've done that, then you must come out of your comfort zone. A lot of what I've been throwing out to you tonight is to challenge you, not to sit where you are. Is to come out of your comfort zone. Is to think differently. You must think out of the box, because the old way that things were done has failed and will not work for you now. So you've got to come out of the box and begin to think of, how do I do it now? What do I need to do now to make it work? How do I survive this time so that my business is still viable when the economy is revived? You know, I was with a great speaker last night, Samuel Chand, and he said something about the illiterates of the future that was interesting. He said the literates of tomorrow will not be people who cannot read or write, because most people will be able to read or write because of information technology. Everybody is now word savvy because we live on Blackberries and iPods and iPads and all of those gadgets. So the illiterates of tomorrow will not be those who cannot read or write. You know what the illiterates of tomorrow will be? There will be people who cannot unlearn what they've learned. So we're in a season where you've got to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And I think that's what we're here today for. To unlearn what we've learned before and relearn what works now. So if you're not prepared to do that, you cannot move forward.
Started companies. My first company did not do well. I failed miserably. I started off very well, and being younger and hopeful and optimistic and naive, I thought that, wow, at this rate, by the time I'm 32, I'm going to be in Rio or on some mountaintop in Peru drinking Chivas, retired for life, right? Well, business is cyclical, I found out. So I failed miserably. Accelerated learning, I call it. I was on the IRS's Christmas card list for a few years after that. Thank God we live in a country that has a high tolerance for failure. If we were in Belgium or Sweden, you'd have to move to a leper colony. Essentially, there's a very little tolerance for failure. But thankfully, we live in a society where there's a high tolerance for failure. In some circles, if you go to Northern California, Palo Alto, people will brag about how they failed and how it's helped them to get where they are now. So in any case, let me tell you more about Montgomery County. One of our couple of programs I'm going to push is our Business Incubator Program. We have 5. We built 4 of these in a hot 4 years. This is when the county was in a better fiscal situation. So basically what we do is we provide business support services for growth companies. We provide office space, shared use of conference rooms, and probably as important, business technical assistance, because you may be very good at your science, technology, product, or service, but you may need help with HR issues, contracting issues, how to do business with the federal government, that sort of thing, marketing, that sort of thing. So we organize about 70 seminars a year for our companies that participate, and there's an admissions process, basically a business plan. You make a presentation. If your company looks interesting, we invite you to participate. We have 180 companies in our portfolio in our 5 business incubators, and graduated over 90 companies, meaning you spent about 3 years in this environment, this ecosystem, and you outgrew your space, you have more revenues, more customers, more contracts, hired more people, and you're now ready to graduate into your own commercial space.
I'm going to be discussing setting the HR function up within your business. The information I'll be sharing with you is actually intended for business owners that are large enough to actually have their own employees, whether it's 2, 3, 5, 10 employees, and yet too small to actually hire a full-time HR manager. I'm basically going to be walking you through the handout, starting with the HR checklist on the second page. This checklist basically divides key HR areas that I'll be talking about tonight, namely recruitment and staff planning, employee development and training, policies and procedures, as well as record keeping and talent management. And the idea behind this is when you all get back to your respective businesses, you will have this as your guide to conduct a needs assessment for your business and ultimately create a strategic HR plan for your business. The plan will be important for you because it will help you strengthen your business foundation as well as better position you for future growth. So, starting with the first category I wanted to talk to you about, recruiting. Before you even get to recruiting, you probably want to figure out a way to determine whether or not you need to hire additional people. Doing so is quite easy. All you have to do is take a look at your current situation. If you as a business owner feel that you have quite a bit of a workload that's not going anywhere, it may be time for you to consider hiring additional people.
Meaning that by just sending one message to John, who trusts me as a friend, as a trusted network, I can get 250,000 people in 30 seconds to get this message, depending on how fast John tweets it and Fred tweets it and Alice retweets it. What lesson can we learn from this? That means that in 5 minutes, any small business owner can sit down in one place and get 250,000 people to learn one message. Which leads to my very, very big number one horrible thing that a lot of businesses don't do, and that is tracking. A lot of businesses send out email blasts, text messages, posts on Facebook, Twitter. How many of you even know who's reading it? How many of you check your email blasts every single hour to see who is reading it? Whenever we send out an email blast, we reward everyone that opened the email blast with another email. I don't think you understand what that means. I'll re-explain. Our company sends out an email blast every weekend, or every week, depending on the topic. And sometimes, depending on the client, we can send out an email blast. Then we look and see who opened all these emails. And the people that open it, we pick people and reward them. Coupons, free meals, free gifts, free items, gift cards. And we shoot out these emails as a follow-up. So now people like to open our emails. And I have relatives and friends calling me randomly to say, I opened it, what's going on? And I'm like, I intentionally did not send it to you. But my point is, if every business owner did that and rewarded that 10% that keeps opening your emails, don't you think that 10% will go out and start talking about you? Leading to my next point, marketing is no more just a part of business. It's not a part of business anymore. It's not like accounting, financing. Marketing is what I call a culture, and it's becoming a lifestyle. She was right, everybody can be a marketer now. But the problem is that professional marketers know the bottom line of marketing and the reason behind every marketing strategy.
It's a $6 billion project, and it's a 40% minority goal. So my job is to help small businesses stay in business. I didn't have the mentors, so I started helping out people. And then I created a niche market, small business development. the government is not doing a lot of procurement right now because they don't have a budget. So my little niche market, because it was a need, now it's becoming, and it will become, I believe, because I really like this, it's going to become one of our primary business offerings. And I'm calling it emergingbusiness.com. All right? And I'm going to retire with that because I'm ready to sit down. But I'm going to make money, and I'm making money on something that I love. Tactics is your website, your trifold, your inbound marketing, your outbound marketing, your business cards. A lot of folks will go out there, and just like I did, and we'll start copycatting off everybody else to come up with your marketing materials without even thinking about, well, who am I, who I'm selling to, what's my ideal customer, what's my talking logo, what's my elevator speech. Do the strategy. Spend time in planning. Because what did it say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.